Live from Studio 5 on Michigan Avenue, this is NBC 5 News Today at 9 a.m.
Anita has a special guest now to talk about some incredible history. Hi, Anita.
Hi there, Rob. Well, you know, Chicago is so rich in history, and a great place to find some of that history, Rob, is in some of Chicago's grand hotels. And Robert Allegrini is the author of Chicago's Grand Hotels. Good morning, and thank you for coming in today.
Good morning. Nice to be here. Thank you.
Now, you tell us, we are pretty fortunate here in Chicago because of the hotels here.
We are. You know, I wrote this book as a celebration of the fact that in 2005, we still have 3 real classic grand hotels in the city, which is a remarkable feat. If you look at New York with the recent demise of the Plaza, all they have left is the Waldorf Astoria, but we still have 3 hotels that are thriving into the 21st century, and those are, of course, the Palmer House, the Drake, and the Hilton Chicago.
Now, we've got some photographs that you collected over time, right?
From the archives of the various properties.
Very famous photos. We've got some famous people from the Hilton photos here.
Yeah, this shot of President Kennedy exiting the Hilton just speaks to the fact that these have always been the hotels where the presidents have stayed. Film stars might stay at different hotels, but the heads of state of various countries have always been at the Drake, the Palmer House, and the Hilton.
Now, we've got other photos as well, the Queen.
And the Queen arriving at the Hilton Chicago in 1959 when she opened the St. Lawrence Seaway. She's escorted in that photo by Conrad Hilton, the founder of Hilton Hotels, and by Richard J. Daley.
What is it about the hotels that they love so much? Is it...
You know, these are the hotels that really reflect the grandeur of the city of Chicago. When you walk into the Grand Ballroom of the Hilton, you know you're in a real palace hotel. So that's what the city fathers like. And that is the second of the 3 Palmer Houses. The first Palmer House in Chicago burnt down in the Great Chicago Fire. That Palmer House that you see there lasted for 50 years, only to be knocked down for the current Palmer House, which was opened in 1927.
And we also have the Drake Court, which is the next photo right there, right?
That is the Palm Court of the Drake Hotel, which is probably the most popular tea lounge in Chicago. On a day like today, they're going to do over 500 people for high tea. It's one of the last bastions of civility in the city of Chicago. It's a great place to take your children to learn manners and etiquette.
That's a very good point. They do need that there.
And that is the venerable Cape Cod Room of the Drake, and now you're seeing...
Well, let's back that up. You want to tell us a little bit something about the Cape Cod Room?
You know, it again has such a rich history. You can go to the bar of the Cape Cod Room, and you can see where there are 2 sets of initials carved into the bar that are JD and MM, which stand for Joe DiMaggio and Marilyn Monroe.
How about that?
It just embodies so much history of the city.
Now, moving on, we've got the beach.
You know, this is a shot of the Drake when it first opened. It shows that the Drake was opened as the first urban resort in the city. In 1920, when it was opened, some of the old ads for the Drake even advertised horseback riding as one of the options for entertainment at the Drake.
And golfing as well.
And golfing at the Hilton Chicago. That is the rooftop golf course. When the Hilton Chicago opened, it had every amenity under the sun. It opened as the Stevens in 1927. At that time, it was the largest hotel in the world. It had 3,000 rooms in 1927 and a rooftop miniature golf course.
Is that rooftop miniature golf
no longer there, no.
Oh, darn!
Regrettably.
That'd be kind of cool. Oh, wow. And so the book is called Chicago's Grand Hotels.
And they are grand, and they are treasures for our city that we should patronize to the fullest extent possible.
Okay. Thank you so much for coming out again.
Thank you very much. My
really
pleasure.
Appreciate it. Okay,
Thank
Rob,
you.
now we're schooled up in our Chicago history here.
I tell you what, that is a perfect holiday gift, I think, for a lot of people. I like that. Thanks a lot, guys.